Today I'm going to show you how you can turn this, a simple spindle blank, into something like this, a Christmas tree decoration. I'm really looking forward to cracking on with this project. It's quite a fun thing to do, trying to batch something when you haven't done it before. I've made about 25 of these Christmas trees and it's been a really fun and great learning experience. I really hope you're going to enjoy watching this video. Let's get going. So I've cut some of the blanks to size. We've got ash, wild mango, 3 oaks and 3 purple hearts, and then I've got to cut the rest of this lot up, and there's some more in the lathe cart. So let's move on to cutting these ones up. I then moved on to marking out the blanks. I chose a variety of woods for these Christmas trees to keep it interesting. So it's 9:15 in the evening and I've done all of these spindle blanks ready to start turning Christmas decorations. We've got Babinga, Zebrano, oak, some more oak, poplar, beech, purple heart, some oak, some ash, some oak, a bit more poplar, 5 bits of wild mango even, and some ash as well. So we've got all of those there. I have got a bit more in here. I've got some panga and some bits and bobs. A lot of these though are tiny bits like this, so they won't be able to be used for that, but they can be used for things like bottle stoppers, or maybe some mini snowmen, which I really want to turn. So now we're going to move on to hammering the centre points into each one of these blanks. So that's taking one of these, hammering them into each end. Haven't counted how many there are here yet, but I'll put a quick thing up on the screen of how many there are. I then moved on to marking all of the centre points on each one of these spindle blanks. I decided to do these in one big lot, as given I was doing a batch of these, I thought it would be a lot quicker and would make it easier for me in the long run. After roughing out the blank mostly to round, I then used my round scraper to refine the shape of the tree. I wanted quite a nice point shape, as I wanted a conventional looking Christmas tree. I then sanded all the way up to 400 grit and parted in the parts where the Christmas tree, branches would be. I used a Crown Cryo parting tool to achieve this, and then I sanded in between the gaps with 400 grit. I then moved on to creating the top of the Christmas tree. I chose to use a ball, as this is fairly simple to achieve on a lathe, and I just used a V-cut parting tool to do this. And then again, I sanded it all the way up from 180 grit through to 400 grit. So we're now going to apply a coat of cellulose sanding sealer to this. So I've turned this with a parting tool and a round scraper, and to be honest, that's the only 2 tools you actually need to turn this. It's a very simple thing to turn. Quite good practice in terms of different cut techniques and things like that. So as I said, just apply a light coating of sealer. Oak I do find has a lot more tear out than woods such as Babinga and cherry and other woods like that, but that's fine, it just requires a bit more sanding. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm turning all about this sort of shape now. I quite like this and this works quite well. I do leave quite a big bit at the end, but that's because I want it to be quite sturdy. So what happens now is I'll keep it like this, I'll coat it in some spray lacquer, and I'll just be using satin lacquer. Then we'll part it off and leave it like that. So it will end up looking something like this, obviously just a different size. This is Babinga and that one's oak. So I'm going to try and get another 2 done today. I'm going to try and do this wild mango one and this beech one. So as you just saw, I've just turned the oak one. Most of that is a time lapse, but I'll talk through it and explain how I did it. I then repeated the process for all of the Christmas trees, except halfway through the project I was gifted a rough and gouge, which I chose to use to rough the blanks from square to round, as it was far quicker. So I'm now going to move on to sanding the bases of the Christmas trees. I want them to sit flat on a mantelpiece, because some people might not want to hang them up on a tree and might want them on a surface. So I'm just simply going to use my belt sander and disc sander just to really clean up the bottom of these Christmas tree decorations. The sanding process of this project was extremely simple. All I had to do was hold the Christmas trees against the sanding disc and make sure they were flat on the bottom, which I checked by holding it on a flat surface. So we're now going to move on to attaching the hooks in the top of the trees. Now hopefully you can see they have a very small hook in them, and it's very simple to do. Simply involves using a 1mm drill bit, making a point, and then simply using some of these tiny hooks and attaching them into here. It's very quick to do and just makes them a bit more versatile, because obviously you can hang them or you can have them on a mantelpiece or something like that. I then used a 1mm drill bit to make a small hole for the hook. Next I used an old pair of needle nose pliers to twist in the little hooks into the Christmas tree. This was a really simple process and I really enjoyed putting the hooks in. So with all of the holes now drilled into the trees and the little gold hooks attached, we now need to move on to attaching the gold and the silver string to this. So here's all of the Christmas tree decorations. Now I just need to decide what colour string goes with what type of wood. So we're going to try and thread the wild mango now. So the string comes through the hook, we grab it at the end, then tie it in a knot. The last stage of this project is to attach the gold and silver string to the top of the Christmas tree. I found this to be quite a challenge, as tying a small fiddly knot isn't that easy. So finally I have finished the trees. This took a long time to do, but I'm really happy with how they look. So they've all got this little bit of gold string on them, or silver string, and they're all ready to go up on people's Christmas trees as decorations. So I'm going to get a few photos of them on our Christmas tree in the lounge. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you maybe have learnt something from it. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to the next video. Bye for now.